Alright, let us continue. Let's see what we're gonna do with Dumb and Dumber right over there. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now take the stand. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination. Yeah, Governor. I did, Gov. I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulking. Got it! Blimey! This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windybacks. Well, it was Bedlam's soonness, weren't they? It was, Nash. It was. You didn't have time to pull me dukes out of me loose lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers? Core blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How do you figure that out? You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question. And this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. A thought worth pondering, perhaps. Say no, Morkov. We hear ya. We'll blab. We'll squeak. We'll peach. Alright, well, we're gonna test that soon enough in this testimony. Although something tells me that you're not gonna tell us the whole truth. Alright, we did knock a few things over. But we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshot, see? It made us both jump. And all that stuff went flying. Lummy, you didn't give a fright. I was thinking they're sure to come out the door and get us next. Stuck everything back where we found it and scrapped it. Straight into him in the back. Straight into him in the back. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windyback's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tied it up. Yeah. Sorry. Do I sense some coldness all of a sudden right over here? Why do I feel like I'm soon gonna be crossing the line into the land of the dead? By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't you make us sound a bit more cutthroat? It can't be just coincidence that these men showed up at Windyback's that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Okay, well, so far I'm not seeing like anything out of the ordinary, so let's press some stuff right here first. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to the defect in the first place? Is it because you're idiots? Or is it because you're idiots? Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. Well said, Ringo, Neo Chana. We only land ourselves in even more trouble. And look where it brought you. In fact, now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble. From a small frying pan into an even bigger frying pan. That's rotten luck. I mean, yeah. You two definitely look like frogs in our eyes, says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing. Right, Nash? Right. More like we tidied up the place. Sorry. Because when we heard the gunshots, it made us both jump, and all that stuff went flying. So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter? Is that it? Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep its shirt on. Don't be talking about taking shirt off. Look, it was loud, alright? Blimey, need that granny would have woken up that bang. Need that granny would have woken up at that bang. Big brother screamed like a blooming baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over the loader books, candlestick, and some scope, whatnot. They got tangled in some marionettes, knocking over a picture frame, knocked them scales on the floor. Did you bring the entire shop down with you? What the fuck you were doing there? What a racket. Granny would have been scared back into her grave at a clatter like that. So, in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some! I mean, it was quite as a The fuck was that? Did you just shoot somebody there for a second? Or like a shot there? Is there something wrong? Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. Is that it? Nothing to add about their testimony? You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulking said. Did it make you think of something? It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it. Only... well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. That is indeed true. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying. Did it? You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Ooh. Might have, Gov. Might have. Does ring a bell, now that you mention it. Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellows? If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them, with my own gavel. Easy, easy. We'll get it right this time, I swear. That's it. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously turned to your questionable minds, sirs. Alright, you are, Gov. Okay. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!" Before the gunshot, you heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun." Wait, who said that? Hold it! So in fact you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. We did, Gov. We did. Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all. If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun. Bam! kind of thing. Nice reactment there. A career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course they could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was. From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. Yeah, I don't know about that one. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windyback. On me granny's life. Of course it was. Or on his granny's life, cause it was. So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windyback and the sound of his voice. So that would mean what? What, Nish? What? Any ideas? Yeah, Counsel. Indeed it would. Nah, we didn't know the geezer. Oh, what am I supposed to deny when that bloke and all the fancy clubbers giving us the evil eye? If you value their lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. Oh, only Granny's life, it is. Cause Granny surely knows the best. She has lived through the land of the dead, so... On his Granny's life, it must be. It's a good job his Granny's dead. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor. Make it sound like we're clumsy. No fact that we tied it up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, I think I get to what is going on over here. They make it sound as if they were facing each other. Yeah, that was the problem right over here. Cause if they were in a little bit of a scuffle going on, sort of, the way they already enacted the scene right over here, it made it sound like Windyback was gonna go after Gina, go all, give me that gun, and then Gina would shoot Windyback. But the problem is though, is that Windyback was not shot from the front, but actually from the back, like right over here. So yeah, that is an inconsistency. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna present this like right over here to see if I can if I can show the contradiction. Like if I'm correct about this. If not, then I'm gonna see about pressing the other stuff. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windyback, was wielding a gun. Is that correct? That's it, Gov. You got the picture. He has, Nish. He has. No question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windyback was not holding a firearm of any description. Eh? You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right. Objection! There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windyback's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that Multuller used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! Damn! Kind of thing. Stay exactly where you are, right there. Eh? If the crime had taken place as you so called or described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness. Are you sure, Counsel? I swear on me granny's life as well. You intrigue me, my learned friend. But let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? Didn't we present it already? Like, it was this. And that's what I... Or we could present this, like the autopsy report. Like instant death due to a single bullet from the back. This can be also used as evidence against what they're saying right over here. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe. Yep, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and the attacker would have been facing each other. Yeah, exactly. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I said before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. Skokin.
Yeah.
But it's the God's honest truth. It is, Nash. It is. Willie was shot that night. The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Wiedeback holding a gun. My God. How fast can he even fuck up, like, in the span of a couple of seconds? Something like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses. That on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skokin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Yeah, Nash,
No! Hold on! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. Well, it would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. Yeah, guys are fucked. I hope that the Land of the Dead will be a good vacation place for you guys. I made it quite clear that false witness will be the death of you. Am I to understand that you replaced the truth of your original testimony with renewed lies? I'm so sorry, Governor. The truth is, cut it out, Nash. Cut it out. If we blab now, you know what they'll do to us. He? What are you talking about? Ooh, are we talking about some mastermind going on around here? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you. Prof, come on. The game's up. But you'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. And you will be in the garters nonetheless. On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well, do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Alrighty then, another cross-examination. Alright, so we just go inside the gaff and you heard a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed. And then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had it. For an old geezer, the block was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with this killing him. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened. I swear. So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. What the hell? Like, what the fuck are you kissing? Okay, well, what about Gina, though? Like, where was she if that happened? Well... Yeah, sorry. Well... We found ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to lie. Very well. Counsel for the defense, it is your turn. Right you are. That's it. The moment I've been waiting for. Okay. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windyback? No, never. I was just, you know, looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? We was being flattened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into a storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, and ran off through that door and shut himself in. Something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Windyback ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what they were saying, Jeannie wasn't there waiting for him, with a gun. Ah, yeah, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windyback's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windyback's hands again? I have no idea. But that is strange, isn't it? Like, I guess if we are to go with their story, Windyback managed to knock Gina, take her gun, exit the storeroom and deal with those two guys, and then go back inside the storeroom, I guess. And this little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it. Look, the point is, me and me brother. That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me brother. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov, nothing. Your geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was, from the inside. We know it was, because we tried to open it. But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. And the sole person who could possibly have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade. You would indeed appear so. What say you to that, Counsel? I don't know. Is there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Windyback? Fuck yeah. Mr. and Mr. Skulking. What? What's that look for? from the moment you admitted that you can encounter the victim face to face that night. The course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is, who could have shot Mr. Windyback? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only person, the only possible answer at all. Yeah, we gotta question those two. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this planet of premises. Boy, you sure love to return back to the planet of premises, eh? The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what are the possible answers to that question of who shot the man could there be? Counsel, you must now provide answer to the court in respect of two conundrums. Two, my lord? Has as many chances to be right, maybe. Indeed. Namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time? Understood, my lord.
Are you right, Reno?
Not entirely sure. But there is one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court in this plan the answers to the question posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired a gun. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired a gun. Well, I guess there is something to be questioned right over here, because I'm thinking of this. Windyback was found dead right over here, with blood under him. As far as I know, there were like no other blood signs around here. Therefore, like, if there were blood signs around here, this would have told us that Windyback was shot and he died, like, around here or something like that. And then his body got dragged. So, it does tell me that Windyback died right here, no questions answered. However, the room was locked. So, either the two bandits went in here and then locked. Well, the thing is, if there is only one key and it was in Gina's possession, then how could the bandits have managed to get out and have this locked in the first place? Unless Gina came back from being unconscious and locked the door and then came back. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna say that the door was locked, and this could mean that the only way this could have happened was if the bandits were like right around here. But at the same time, Windyback was right over here. So how could they have killed him? Simple. They had their own gun. I mean, we have a second gun. This was their gun. And they could have shot Windyback through the door. Because remember, there's like a tiny window through which you can see through the storeroom door. And they could have shot Windyback in the back. Like right over here. While Windyback didn't even know. That is what could have happened. Which would mean that the bullet that was inside Windyback's body was actually the bullet from their gun, not necessarily from Windyback's gun. So yeah, that is another possibility. So I'm gonna say that they shot from right around here. The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? He was around here. culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Windybeck died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. Indeed. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired? So you're adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom? Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room. If Mr. Windyback ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time. Oh! It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom. No! No!
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial?
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Oh shit, I forgot about that. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man. Shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Ah, of course. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory. Oh, awesome. Shot while he was running fast as he could to safety. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. Yeah, cause you know, if you were to lean forward, let me imagine this a little bit. If you were to lean forward, that means that the heart would like the back of the heart would be more exposed, like in the back, or more specifically, the downside of like the bottom of the heart would be more exposed to the back, which would mean that if he was leaning forward and somebody shot him horizontally, like the heart would be penetrated in a rising trajectory, even though the bullet was shot horizontally. Okay. Yeah, that actually answers this problem here. Alright. Good job, Leonowski.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windyback.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to return the key in the lock? But... Okay, come on, Leonowski. This is actually a much easier problem than the last one. You managed to solve that last problem with gusto. But now this? Come on. What if someone else locked the door? Yeah, there you go. Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so? Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shot and locked the storeroom door from the inside? It would have to be Gina herself. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Ms. Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible reason? That is indeed a good question. Well, again, like that would be a question if what those guys are saying is the truth, that he was actually fleeing. But no, in actuality, it could be that Weedyback was there in the storeroom all along, and he wasn't even aware of the brothers. So the brothers just sneakily shot through the door, while Weedyback was with his back to the door. Like, that could be... But then in that case, if that were the case, then Weedyback would not be leaning forward anymore as he was running. If he were to lean for a specific reason, he would have to lean for something else. Oh. Okay. One possibility could be that he was leaning for the box where the manuscript was. Gina wanted the Weedyback to get the manuscript, and thus Weedyback would go for the box where the manuscript was, so he would have to lean a little bit in order to open it, and that would be when he was shot. So, yeah, it could very well be that... I guess in that case, Weedyback... I guess in that case, Gina locked the door. Okay, so Gina locked the door behind so that Weedyback would not be able to run away. Like, first, she wanted Weedyback to get the manuscript, and then she would be able to unlock the door afterwards because she already got what she needed. But until then, the door needed to be closed in order for Weedyback to not escape. Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, Counsel? You know, it's a tricky one, that is, isn't it? How big notions have no place in my courtroom, Mr. Yonosuke. Remember that, please.
And of course he would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, if I was Genie in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Obviously. Okay, well, I had my own idea. But if we are to go with this current idea of panic everywhere, then I guess one other reason would be that Gina locked the door so that they would be safe. Before the two brothers arrived, Mr. Strada and Mr. Weedyback were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Weedyback must have heard the intruders breaking into the shop and left the store. Intruders, say? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that will leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yeah, he would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Weedyback fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment? I see where we're going with this. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Weedyback. As soon as that thought struck Mr. Strahd, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it. We ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on. We never shot no one.
Objection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulking, You brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windyback's murder.
No!
Where does this leave us? And say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all. I should have known it was those three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest.
It was amazing, Runa. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
Yeah, the thing is, it won't be long for that. You know, it's like a roller coaster. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. I know, first time ever. Probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely you have to give a verdict of not.
Admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing? Laughing maniacally? I feel like every prosecutor has done something like this before. Like, oh, in our rising glory, the prosecutor is laughing with his trump card up his sleeve. Those white gigantic sleeves that actually those are not sleeves. Those are gloves. Get your facts straight, Noby. You find the situation amusing, Lord Razix? I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive. Sure, if you like tomfoolery, I dare say such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. The fuck is that? Chicanery? I didn't even know if I said that word correctly. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. Okay, yeah, now you're just trying to confuse us with fancy words that I don't know. Stop it! The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot, and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. Oh my god! My argument has a fatal flaw? First time ever! Do you mean to tell me that you are unaware of your logic's failure? I thought that with the experience that you gathered thus far of having fatal flaws in your argument, you will spot them easier this time around. I say, Lord Van Zix, might be an idea to explain this body conjuring trick or whatever it is to the trip with the ground, eh? The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. Boy, George! Count bullets!
Oh dear. He noticed then.
What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two. 2 bullets. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim at back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, on his arrival at the scene. Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Windyback, and the Skulking Brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun. Well, you know what? It is definitely something. Can we be sure that each bullet came from their respective guns, though? I guess you're gonna say that would be the case. So, You're saying that the bullet that went through Mr. Windyback definitely came from his own gun, which was in Gina's possession, meaning that the bullet that would be fired from the Skulking Brothers, according to Ryonosuke's hypothesis, like, it wouldn't stand if that were the case, because they already shot the bullet at Erlich Sholmes. Yeah, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Erlich Sholmes right before your eyes. Yeah, I did. Oh my goodness. I think you'll find... the single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes. It is... Windyback not shot by the same gun. Stop. Only one bullet. Stop. Exactly. Yes. This Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick, with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Order! 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 Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollow nectar into the public gallery. I guess that shuts him up good. Again, just like last time, you probably killed somebody with that bottle. What about Ziggs? But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with a loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with a murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc. I'll be taking that whatever it is of Miss Gilded's down to the yard. Thank you very much. No, don't. Don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine! Sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. Yeah, that music box disc. McGillet's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windyback, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen evidence. Good gracious! Make no mistake. Any sympathy for the accused on account of any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop, if pushed. No crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel. As a grim testament to the defendant's case. Lord Van Six, Huh? Inspector Gregson? Well? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that that disc wouldn't be used as evidence. Why not? What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? And that's the first time he said anything to Van Zieks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions, right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. The government? Oh my. We're going in for the big boys here? We're going for the big boys here at the top? Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed. Bailiff. Alright. We have our music box disc, once again. Used to play music in the mechanical music box. On the reverse side, it reads For McGilded. For McGilded. Prosecution has established the accused motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. Actually, let me see about some stuff around here. There is definitely the word for written there. I feel like I may have missed that before. Motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. Actually, hold on a second. Well, actually, I think I'm gonna do it in a little bit. I had the jury on my side for once, for all 5 minutes.
Oh dear. It wasn't even for 5 minutes, you know. The pain that you must feel every single time you do a case.
My lord, what if I might say something at this point? Proceed, Mr. Foreman. He's stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told. But all of a sudden, the answer is barely obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Don't tell me that we're going for another round of summation examination. Very well. The court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. Yeah, apparently so. My Christ. Are we gonna finish the trial in time to at least say goodbye to Susato, maybe? What with the delay as such? Yeah, like the universe is really trying to hold us back here in this court, just so that we won't say goodbye to Susato, maybe. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. I feel like that is something that somebody else said before. Maybe, I remember. Could it be that it was Mia? Either way, what I wanted to do is see if I can do something with this blood.
Oh, Bruno, look. This bled.
Yeah, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Huh. Then it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever.
Alright.
Alright, let's stay with that disc, Bruno.
Can we get this done quickly, Iris?
In a flash.
Alright, let's see whose blood this belongs to. Like, it is definitely Benedict's. It is green as well. Oh. Wait a minute. Green? Wait, that color?
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Wait a minute. I was thinking this before, but... Huh. Let me look at the portfolio a little bit. I was thinking that this blood actually would come from Sholmes. Now that we know that he was shot by one of the brothers, this bullet definitely would have come from Sholmes if he was at the entrance and he got shot by the Skulking brothers. But now we have this. I mean, you know, it would have made sense if the profile was updated with Sholmes' blood by now, but given the fact that it isn't, it is still a mystery from the game's perspective. So the person that got shot here could actually very well be Benedict. What the fuck is going on here? Huh. Okay then. Cause this blood definitely came from Benedict. Like, he got wounded when that scuffle happened at the shop. Not at the incident. No, I mean when we came there at the shop the first time, when we did our dance of deduction. Like, Benedict's blood was on this disc when Gina wanted to grab it. All right.
That's my line. I wrote that for Harry. I'll take he used it against us.
Huh. Huh, maybe. Maybe it is a Sherlock Holmes line, not a Herlock Holmes, but Sherlock Holmes line that I may remember. Who knows? I was thinking that maybe it felt familiar. I mean, it's not a unique line there to say, but still feels something that was said before. Don't worry, Hurst. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be. Because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. That Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windyback. That's beyond any doubt. Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Guardian Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.